to another live stream. Now, last week we had a bit of a technical snafu with the camera running out of battery. Oopsie. So someone in the comments demanded that I do an extra half an hour this time. Now, I'm not going to be able to do an extra half an hour, I'm afraid, but I am going to run for an extra 20 minutes if that's okay with you guys. So I thought what we'd do is we would run to around about 7:15, and we'll take it from there. Now, what I wanted to do today was to let me know if you're in the chat. I can never remember whether I've actually changed the settings to live or not. So I think I have. So please let me know if you are out there and listening, because that's the only way I'll know. Otherwise, I'm going to spend the next 90 minutes talking to myself, which would not be as productive as I would like. So today, I thought I put up a picture at the weekend of a model that I've been working on, and it is this central chap here, Mr. Ajax. We looked at him last week, and I finally got him painted up. I thought he looked pretty neat. I thought he looked pretty good. I popped him up on the Hail Caesar forum, and he got quite a lot of nice comments. So I thought that we'd crack on with this. And something that I also wanted to do today as well is to do a review of a manufacturer that we don't talk much about on this channel, and it's frustrating to me. We'll get through as to why it's frustrating in a second. But yeah, thank you for joining me. I can see there's 4 people in the chat, so we are obviously live. So thank you. My laptop that I normally use to make sure that it's going out is having a bit of a moment. I'm up in the attic, and the Wi-Fi signal does not do well up here, despite it being super advanced Wi-Fi. So hello, Connor. How you doing, buddy? Is it easier / better to paint on or off the sprue? Well, I paint on the sprue, to many people's horror and disgust. I will let the comment section do as they will. Be nice, everyone. But if you have difficulty holding the models in particular, then I would suggest painting on the sprue. So sorry about this, guys. I'm a little bit being caught a little short today. Right, so this is our man Ajax. Now, I did print him an extra large scale. What I wanted to do is go through Wargames Atlantic, their other like just their normal line, and then we will look at the new line design. Now, hang on a second. I've got some gluey glue up here, a brand new pack, no less. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the rest of these, and then we will have a look at the new line design stuff. The one of the things that really frustrates me about new line design is they have quite a few ranges, and they're really nice models, but their website is absolutely dire. I mean, absolutely appalling. So that is a problem that they is going to have. So let's have a look. So I just brought a couple of paints up with me as well, just in case we get a chance to slap some paint on. I'm not entirely certain that we will. Now, the idea here is that Ajax is he was from Salamis, so I guess he'd be a Salamid, which is a small island just off of Athens, well, just off Piraeus, really. He was renowned. He was renowned for his size and strength. So I actually printed him slightly bigger than the rest of these guys here. So I printed him at 110%, I think it was. It may have been 105%. I can't exactly remember. But he's been printed so he stands head and shoulders above his comrades. Now, these are his comrades here. The base, I should say, that he's on is a 60mm by 40mm from Games Workshop. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep him on these bases or not. He's pretty heavily glued on. So if I do take them off those bases, I may just need to do a new, just a brand new base. Now, he is pretty cool. You can see with him stood next to his comrades, he is quite a bit bigger than them. So I'm hoping that that's not going to look too silly. You can see from the heights of the collar that he's quite a bit bigger. I've got a few more swords and boards here. What I'm thinking of doing with him actually is I want this to be like a command base. So we've got the New Line design tutor here, toot toot, and a little standard bearer at the back there. Hey guys, if I'm not replying to you straight away, apologies. It's because the messages are not coming up because my laptop is rubbish. I should say on the printer you may be able to hear it whirring away in the background. I don't know what's on the printer today. It's a bit of a mystery print. The memory card I use, sometimes it corrupts the name of the file. I thought it was some epic Tau infantry, but it looks like from the outlines of the what's printing, it looks like it's some vehicles. So I don't know what it is, but we'll find out when the print is finished. So I'm going to have this guy. So what I'm thinking really is I want him to have like his personal guard with him. I want a standard bearer. So I think he might do as a standard bearer. And then I want a tutor as well, and maybe another trooper with him. Just sort of think Patroclus with Achilles, but I don't necessarily want them in an aggressive stance because he's quite chilled out. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm going to do a unit of these fighting, but for this guy's command base, I'm wanting to be a little bit more chill. So I'm going to look for a set of legs that are not necessarily aggressive. This guy here, he's leaning forward. So I don't necessarily want to use those. This set of legs here, which is the same set of legs I've used for him, he's just stood quite passive. So he's much better. So looking at the arms here, well, look at this. I mean, that's a perfect, the perfect one there, isn't it? And then I think his shield arm, which I've just seen, there we are. We can have that down here as well. So that's absolutely fine. Now, a lot of these heroes back in the Trojan Wars days, they are said to have had shield bearers. So, you know, they concentrate on defending you while you concentrate on bringing the pain. But in this case, I'm going to have Ajax carrying his own shield. Now, I've just splurged super glue all over that, so that's awesome. But not to worry, I'll use some of it here. The problem with these little super glues is when you open them, they tend to go everywhere. So as long as you're aware of that, you can mitigate it. Now his arm's actually going to be, sorry, I was off camera then, wasn't I? His arm's actually going to be down back a little bit. So he may not be really holding his shield, protecting his body. Now I don't necessarily mind that too much. I'm going to hold that in place. And we're just going to see if I can find... Oh, hang on, there we are, back up. There we are, right, okie dokie. Now, hopefully, I'll be able to see some comments now. I can see some already. What have we got? Aussie Major, how am I doing? I am doing very well, thank you, Aussie. It's, yeah, I'm not too bad at all. It's a bank holiday weekend this weekend here in the UK. I don't know if it is around the world, but we're heading towards Friday, and then it'll be a nice three-day weekend, which is definitely what we need at the moment. I think work's just about to get crazy when the students come back. Now, this isn't gluing for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. This is quite a cheap super glue. I got it from a superstore in the UK called B&M, which I guess is a little bit like Target. So it's quite cheap, but it's normally pretty good. I mean, he's glued together with it, and he's pretty solid. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Depends on the mini. Oh, this is from General Dan. Depends on the mini whether you want to paint it on the sprue or individually. Usually I'll build the mini but leave a round foot tab attached to the sprue so I can batch paint easy. Yeah, I mean that's another good sort of a good halfway house of doing it, isn't it? Is you can half paint it on the sprue. Sorry, you can cut away most of the sprue, but just leave enough that you can grab hold of. And then you got the best of both worlds, haven't you, really? Sorry, I've got a bit of super glue down here as well, by the looks of things. So, I don't know why this isn't gluing. It's perturbing. Who do I think was Napoleon's best divisional commander? Come on, Rubric. Come on, man. How can you ask me that? How can you ask me that with a straight face? There can be only one, and it's got to be Dominique Van Damme. Did you not see the meme I posted the other day of him as the Doom, the Doom soldier? No, I mean, I'm a huge Van Damme fan. You've also got, if you're talking cavalry, you've got D'Espagna. I like him. He was a heavy cavalry commander. I like LaSalle, of course. Who else is there? Well, that's if we're talking French. If we're talking British, we've got General Hill. He was very good. Black Bob Crawford. And if we're talking Russians, we've got Raevsky, or I guess he was a corps commander, but I'm a big fan of Grand Duke Constantine. If we're talking Prussians, divisional commander of Prussians, York was interesting. Yeah, I'll probably go with, well, I mean, someone like Scharnhorst or Gneisenau are obviously very good as well. That's why I found it's a bank holiday over here as well. There are far too many great divisional commanders to count. I mean, there are many, but I think everyone sort of gravitates towards their own favourite. Why on earth is this not gluing? I'm not impressed with this at all. I'm going to leave that there. This arm seems to be gluing, but his other one ain't. I don't like it. Let's stand him up there, and maybe I put too much glue on. Pop him there, and then we'll come back to him in a bit. Now, this one here, I really like. This one sort of jabbing down. This type of armor is known as Dendra armor. It's just sheets of bronze. One of the things I really love about this period is the look of the bronze. It's so different from everything that you have later, and it almost I mean, it's got obviously it's got a bit of a steampunk aesthetic to it anyway because it's bronze, but I just think it looks so different to everything else that comes later. You know, even your reasonably well armed troops, knights, I guess, will be the equivalent of these guys, are wearing really fantastically bright looking armor. Now, Ajax is a little bit dark. He's going to need some highlights putting on, I think. But yeah, no, I've wanted to do Trojans for a long old time. I'm going to go through my my metal collection in a bit. But the coming of Wargames Atlantic and their printing absolutely revolutionized it for me, particularly when it comes to things like Dendra armor, because before then it was just Wargames Foundry that did it. Now, don't get me wrong, their miniatures are absolutely gorgeous. I'll be certainly buying their characters for chariots, if nothing else, but they are very, very expensive, particularly if you want to just do the rank and file guys. So for that reason, I'm really, really glad that Wargames Atlantic have brought out this range for printing. And I think the Trojan Wars, the whole range is for printing. I know they do 3 sets. I've got these guys. Sorry, I keep going off camera. I know they do 3 sets. They do these guys, the Dendra armor. They do like armored Trojans, I think, and they do like light infantry as well. Slightly disappointed that the light infantry are wearing clothes, but you can't have everything. That's it. Don't clip me on that one. Don't just play that as a clip. No. Hello, Donald Settle. Hello. Oh, hang on. I keep gluing my fingers to the guys. This is something that you definitely don't want to do if you've painted them, is glue your fingers to them, because then you'll be peeling all the paint off, and that would certainly make me very, very sad. So do not be doing that. Now the glue is coming out a bit too keen on this, so there's quite a lot on there, which is not great. See if I can transfer some. So what's everyone been working on this week? Is anyone starting any new projects or finishing off old projects, or is it just the summer campaign season carrying on? And more importantly, has anyone played any games recently? What games have people been throwing down? It doesn't have to be Napoleonic. What war games have been busting out in the clubs and sheds of the Napoleonic Wargaming fans, Wargaming spaces. I had a Lord of the Rings tournament at the weekend, so that was good fun. I used my Mumak, probably for the last time with Farharad. So what else has everyone been up to? 3D Deathcore in Napoleonic French uniforms for Heresy. Is that the Wargames Atlantic ones? They are very cool. I use sticks to hold 6 to 12 minis to work on at a time. Very, very sensible. I do that with smaller scale. I tend not to do it with 28mm, although I probably should. I tend to do it with Napoleonics, actually, sometimes. But, yeah. Nan Suti for cavalry. Yeah, he was very good. Suchet was also an excellent commander. Don't forget, you've also got General Lamarck. He was a very good commander. He commanded the centre at Wagram. Another great French divisional commander would be... I'm always a big fan of his, and I've forgotten his name. No, it'll come to me. It'll come to me. Dan started work on Bodus here. Is that for your channel, Dan? Forlorn Hobbies. So get plug-in, man. Get plug-in. So anyone who doesn't know, General Dan has recently started his own channel, Forlorn Hobbies. Go and check it out. He has done a video on Conisbrough Castle, which is a small castle near where I live. And so my ex-girlfriend was, well, actually no, she's not anymore. She was an archaeologist. And for years I was like, yeah, let's have a day trip out to Conisbrough Castle. We used to go there as a kid. It'll be good. It'll be good fun. So we finally went out, and I was really disappointed. I was like, it definitely used to be bigger than this. But definitely used to be bigger back in the old days. What about Saint-Hilaire? Yeah, he's very good as well. Trying to finish an army of 80-12 Americans. Oh, fantastic. Stay tuned, because I will be doing, in the winter season, I'm going to be doing a start collecting on the Americans for 1812. I think I've got some good little tips, I think, actually. I've been playing my WDS Napoleonic games like crazy. That's good to see. I've busted out. What have I done with it? I say I've busted it out. I've now lost it. Yeah, here we are. I've got this. Now, I don't know what people's thoughts would be if they want to do like a playthrough. But this is Aspirin Essling, the Vevictis, or the Avalon Hill style. Not quite Avalon Hill. Not as detailed as them. But yeah, no. So I was thinking of doing it on the channel. Let me know if you think that'd be something that you'd be interested in watching. I bought it many, many years ago from a woman on a stall, and I didn't have the right amount of money. And she said, "Oh yeah, for your sake, it was 14 quid, and I only had a tenner." And she went, "Oh, I'll just have it for a tenner." So that was really, really nice of her. So I should make the use of it. The Valor Core range, lovely minis. Okay, I'll check those out. Those are your 30k Deathcore, are they? I shall check those out. As a unashamed Deathcore fanboy, I shall check those out. You know that you're a real Deathcore fanboy when you hate the shovel jokes. That's that's the way I think about it. Eventually, I'm sure you'll get there, Dan. Oh, okay, the Knuckle Duster one got bought out, did they? Okay, that's interesting to know. They were not amongst my favourite models, I have to say, but their website was absolutely awesome, though. All the details and stuff on there, so I'll have to make sure I download all that just in case the website disappears. Yes, these are 3D printed. These are printed by my own fair hands, hence the reason they're not very good. I still don't really know why they're not gluing together very well, though. That is quite annoying. Let me try a little bit more. I think the old stuff may have dried. Well, I was also concerned I put too much on, so... the trials and tribulations of the Wargamer. The whole point of 3D printing is I don't have to build any models anymore. I don't know. Right, now, I've also noticed as well, There's a little bit of extra on his spear. So there we go. Someone was asking about side cutters earlier on. I use the big red ones I've got are the Army Painter ones. I like them, but I think there are better ones out there. These ones are TT Combat. These ones are really good. They're very small. I really like these ones. TT Combat. If you're doing metals, don't go anywhere near those ones. But if you're doing plastic or resin, then I think TT Combat ones are the way to go. These are resin. I don't actually have an FDM printer. I thought about getting one, but I'm told they're mainly for terrain. And despite having backed a million terrain Kickstarters, I don't really have the room to store it. That's the main problem. So I tend to stay away from doing too much terrain, which is a shame because I do enjoy terrain building. But yeah, it's just a question of space, really. Right, so I've got far more bodies than I've got sets of arms. So let me have a look at what bodies I've got left. So I've got 4, 5, and then I've got 2, 4, 6, 7 left over. So I've got 12 bodies altogether. And I've only got 1, 2 more sets of arms, really. I guess I could give someone a sword as well. Now that's not too bad. The plan for these, for this project, is to have perhaps 4 models or 5 on a base this big. So the fact there's only going to be 3 models on this base, or perhaps 4, not necessarily the end of the world, because I don't want to overcrowd it. This is a period where you've not really got shield walls and things like that. It's not like hoplites. So I wanted the bases to make it look like they're operating in almost light infantry formation. So he may end up being on an even bigger base. I did think about doing them 75 centimeters by 75. 60 by 60. So that would have 9 models on, but just putting sort of 6 or 7 on there. So I don't know just yet. Right, let's have a look. I have been having fun recording my battles of Friedland, Salamanca, and Linny. Catra combined battle. Fantastic. Is it me, or I somewhat find the British Hussars kind of lacking the flair Hussars possess? Yeah, no, that's true. Yes, I'm the same. I think Napoleonic Hussars in particular, they're not quite as dashing as their European counterparts, are they? But then I think the British sort of heavy dragoons have probably got a bit more dash and elan than European Krasiers or dragoons do as well. Now, I know the Krasiers consider themselves the absolute nuts, but yeah, no, I think the British heavy dragoons steal the thunder of the light cavalry. The British, we're not really a flashy people, are we? We're sort of a little bit more reserved than that. We don't really go in for all that that flashy stuff. So yep, so he's going to go on there, okay, I think, and then I'll have to print a musician to go somewhere else. I wanted to try and get a standard bearer on here as well. So I might have a standard bearer here in the corner and the musician back here. We'll have to see how it goes. Maybe a sort of standard bearer like this, perhaps. And then a muso at the back, like so. And then just the 4 models there. Let me give you a top-down view. The 4 models like this, that I think will be fine. I think that'd make quite a nice little command base. And as I say, I'm not wanting to overload the bases too much. So while there's room on there for perhaps 6 figures, I might only put 3. I might only put 3 or 4 on each base. So something like this. And then 3 bases here will make a unit. I want to keep the units quite small. I want this project to actually get finished. So that's the big problem. I was planning on doing the El Cid project, but I need to do a bit of a a bit of a review of the troops on that one, because I've got quite a lot printed for it, but I'm not entirely sure what I've got. So with this, I thought, you know what, I put the picture of Ajax up, and he was so popular, I thought I would have a go. The good old full command, absolutely, yeah. Yes, it was, Connor, thank you, yeah. I think I might have got them at a Wargaming show, but you can... let me check the Outpost. Let me see if they've got them, if I can get their website up. I might not be able to. Let me see. The Outpost. Sorry, I know this is great, great radio here. What can I say? Right, so while that's loading up, what have I got to do? I've still got a couple of sets of arms. I'm not sure which arms go with which, to be honest. You've got sort of spear up or spear down. So this guy, I like the fact he's got his legs at the stud position, and he looks like he's just kind of chilling out with this like massive long-bladed spear. These are called leaf-bladed spears. I think with bronze, it's very soft, so it can bend. Now, I did hear that the metal the French used for their bayonets was such low quality that they used to bend the bayonets into fishing hooks. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I have heard that. I think that was in possibly Bruce Quarry's book. I'm just going to hold that there while I come down here. Bum, 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 bum. Right, TT Combat. Oh, right. So yeah, no, I'm sorry about this, guys. I'm not feeling. I'm not particularly talkative today, am I? I'm being a bit self-reflective. But you know what? I've had enough of that. This glue has really been. I don't know what's going on with it. Right. So let's do something that I can do a bit more of, and that is a review of the quality of the minis. This is something that I feel a lot more comfortable doing, especially as the glue seems to not be working. Now, I've got some painted models here. Now, be warned, these are painted with more skill, more enthusiasm than skill, as I often say. These are done with just contrast paints. These are entirely contrast paints. In fact, these were the first figures I painted when the contrasts came out. So the flesh, I think, is really nice. The white is good. With these models, it's important when it comes to the contrast paints that there's enough detail on the actual model itself. Otherwise, it's just going to end up flat. Now, I don't know if you can see on the camera. Let me get it up there. It might be. Let me try and shade it a little bit. There is like individual tassels on the red sort of underskirt he's got there. Around here, the boar tusk helmet is very nicely modelled as well. Let me put that down a little bit so it's a little bit more in focus. Now, when I say it's a boar tusk helmet, it's not like the Vikings with like the horn stuck on the side of their helmet. The actual cap, it's like a rugby cap, and it's actually made up of boar's teeth that have been cut in half, and that's what gives it the appearance. And then their plumes been added to the top. So these are really nice. I could do some bronze banding in there. I might do that in a bit. So that's them once they're painted with contrast paints. Now, as I say, they're not fantastic. And as you can also see, I base them in a bit more of a traditional style. So the idea was to have, that's your front rank. You've got your rear rank behind them. They're all going to have the spears. Jobs are good. But I think over time, and this is something that Martin over at Seventh Sons really opened my eyes to, is there are other ways of doing these things. And that's definitely something that that I'm really leaning into and enjoying a lot more these days. So let's see what we've got in here. So this is the I've got two boxes. This is the box with the painted unit in. So as you can see, it's not even a full unit painted. What have I got there? I've got 6, 12, 15, 18. I've got 18 painted there. So now I think I'm going to put these 18 figures on 3 of these bases. That's going to be a full unit. You see I've only got 3 on the command base there. So that is actually going to be more than a full unit, I think. I'll probably just use 15 of them. So there'll be sort of, what will they be? They'll be 60. They'll be 180 millimeters wide. So that will be let's see, 1, 2, 3. So not quite this wide, that wide. And they'll still have the same amount of figures on, so they'll still be pretty. They'll still be pretty densely packed, but not to make it look like it's heavy infantry, like an old hoplite phalanx or anything like that. So that's one unit painted there. Now, what I wanted to have a look at is some unpainted figures. British Dragoons may have the flair, but they're no way in hell are they matching the French ones when it comes to uniforms. No, that's absolutely true. And any Hussar who isn't dead by 30 is a blackguard, absolutely. So now these are, they look like Foundry, but I don't think they are. I think these are New Line figures. They do look very nice though. Let me see. Again, I'm going to see if I can have a look. But Trojan. These to me look more like Wargames Foundry than they do New Line. Let me open up this pack of New Line and show you what I mean. So this is from the sealed pack of New Line design. So these are definitely New Line design. You can see here that they are a lot skinnier. Now, to be fair, this guy's wearing armor. They are around about the same height, although this guy's leaning forward. He is still taller. Now, if your models are smaller than Wargames Foundry models, then you have very, very small models indeed. But the thing that makes me definitely think that it's a Wargames Foundry one is the way that the sword is attached to the base. In fact, does it say WF on the... Yeah, it says Wargames Foundry on the bottom there. So yeah, so these ones are Foundry. I've got some of those. Yeah, these guys are all Foundry, and these guys are from New Line Design. Now, I think actually that when they're all together, I think there's not going to be that much difference. Now, these guys are... I'll tell you what is a big difference. Let me get the biblical stuff up. Now, New Line Design do some Napoleonics, not many, but it's a range of naval troops. So they're definitely worth a look if you're wanting to do anything like sharp practice with the Navy, you know, maybe more of a hornblower thing going on, or if you're wanting to do the Silver Bayonet, something like that. Now, the big difference between these is these are probably better. The Wargames Foundry ones are better. I'm not going to lie. They are nicer models. However, these guys are 6 figures for £7.20. So they are £1.20 a figure. These guys are 8 figures for £12. So they are £1.50 a figure. Now, 30p a figure doesn't really mean a huge amount until you start wanting to buy an army. You want to buy, say, 100 figures, that's 30 quid difference. Now, I don't think that visually they are that much different. And at the end of the day, you can make the bulk of troops with these and have these as the commanders. The other thing as well is, while these guys are £1.20 a figure, you can buy unit deals and army deals. So a unit deal of these guys is this bag here. That's what I've just opened. There's 24 in there, including command. And they are, bear with me, a unit pack will cost you, instead of £1.50 a time, it will be a pound a figure. So they're £24 for the 24 man bags. So you end up with, for every 2 of these, you can get 3 of these. And honestly, I don't think they're that much better than these. I'm glad that the command are. But, I mean, something else that's really nice is you get the shields. Now, the shields are actually, they've got designs on them. So they're going to take contrast paints really nicely. These ones don't. It's not necessarily the end of the world, but the Foundry ones are just smooth. So they're not going to take the contrast as well. You're going to end up having your Frisian cow design on there just to get a bit of contrast on the shield. So what I thought we'd do is, this is sort of brand new to me because these have been in my cellar, or General Dad's cellar, for an absolute age. So I can't actually remember what I've got here. So let's have a look. So this is a pack of Foundry. I'm not sure which pack it is. There's 6 dudes there. There's only 5 shields. That's not super handy, is it? But never mind. I think it might be Heroes 2. That one. So that's them. Let's put them in there. So this is a unit. Oh, hang on, no, there's the other shield. Okay, that's cool. So everyone's got a shield. Everyone's got a sword. They can all go in there. Now the swords in the Bronze Age would have been very, very much a backup. Rubric, you have a challenge for me. Can you guess what country I am from? Ooh, that is a tough one. I'm gonna well, you have to tell me if I'm hot or cold. I'm gonna go with a Scandinavian country. So, am I hot or am I cold by going with Scandinavian? Yeah, you want the side cutters. Side cutters are the ones with a. Let me get them again. So side cutters are the ones that they've got a chamfer in the middle here. You see there's a V shape there, but on the other side they're completely flat. So that's what you want, because you can put them right up against a model and trim away and not be worried. So for instance, let me get this officer here. There's a little bit of flash on the bottom there. I can get the side cutters right up here and then close them up, and then it's gone. So otherwise I'd also need a knife to clean that off. So yeah, the side cutters, I said don't put them anywhere near metal. That was only a very small bit. But yes, no, definitely go for the side cutters if you can. So I'm still trying to find them on the Outpost, but I think it's more that my internet up here isn't very good. I mean, these ones look pretty decent as well. From Green Stuff World. Let me get you a clip here. I'll pop it in the old comments. Oh, from India. Okay, very good. So, oh well. Again, you'll have to tune in for when we're looking at the Asai and Seringapatam campaigns. Then. Those are some other clippers I would recommend, Connor. But if you've got the TT Combat ones as well, I think then they're pretty good. So in this bag there should be 24 guys. I think there probably is. Let me see. I've got a Muso. I've got a. Where's the standard bearer? He'll be a standard bearer. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I should have 3 rows of these. A friend of mine was due to go to India later on this year, but he was supposed to be going for work, but they it fell through in the end, which is a bit of a shame. He works in insurance, maritime insurance, so he, yeah, unfortunately it fell through. So 24 there. The shields are a little flat, I'm not going to lie. I mean, you compare these shields here to the absolute bowl, badoink doink bowl of that one. They're not quite the same, are they? But that's okay. I mean, I can always print some shields if I want to, but to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think I'm going to. These are more than sufficient. So shield will go on like this. He's figure of 8 shield. Yeah, no, I think they're going to be fine. So because these guys are all basically just in sort of loincloths, they should be very quick to paint as well. So that is good. Yeah, no, that's no worries, Connor. That's what we're here for, buddy. You're from the state of Kerala. Okay, I don't know where that is. Whereabouts is that? Is that Asai or? I know that's sort of in the south. But I must confess my geographical knowledge I'm actually pretty proud of when it comes to Europe. Outside of Europe and North America, I have absolutely no idea where anything is. My knowledge of African geography is embarrassing to me. In fact, I wanted to do night school geography, but they don't do it. When I was at school, I had to choose between music, history, and geography. So that was clearly an absolute no-brainer. That's why I can play the recorder. No, I'm joking. I obviously chose history. Right, so that's cool. So we've got 1 unit of infantry. Let's move this over here. What else do I have in my bag? Oh, tricks. This was like a bag of shields and 4 dudes. I don't know what's going on there. Right, oh yeah, now we're getting into the good stuff. So I've got another unit of infantry there, so that's 2 units, well 3 units of infantry. I've got another unit of infantry there, so that's 4 units of infantry. I've got a box of Napoleonic poles that's like this. I'm scared to go into. 24 archers, so these are 20 quid when I got these. I think I got these in a sale as well. They're even less. And oh, blimey! See, 50% off here. Trojan casualties. Good Lord alive! Look how old that box is. These look like they are sea people. These are pretty cool. I'll have a go in a second. Right, okay, yeah. This is what I'm after. Right now, this here is a. Where is he? Now these horses are. These guys are tiny. Hello, I'm a horse, and I am smaller than a man. However, that's not necessarily too ridiculous, because horses back then would have been much smaller than they are now. So I'm not Nick. Don't worry. This is we're in August, which is my month off from Napoleonicing. So despite that, we are playing a Napoleonic game tomorrow, General Dan and I. But in August, I look at some of my other projects, and we have a bit of a break from the Napoleonics. But don't worry, I have been hard at work Napoleonicing up. Now this guy is in his Dendra armor. You can see he's got the plates over here on his shoulders, and he's got the rings of bronze here. Now I have to say that compared to the Wargames Atlantic, he's not as nice, is he? Let's be honest. He is much nicer than him. So this guy may end up being replaced by a printed one. That's his hands for his spear. That's from the wall art. Actually, he's holding his spear like that. Or there's this guy here. Now I could have done this guy as a standard bearer. In fact, I may well do this guy as a standard bearer. Pop him here. He looks he looks like a kid compared to Ajax, but then, Ajax is a big guy, so maybe that's what we want. But let me see. So how many chariots have we got here? Now these should be light chariots. The Mycenaeans didn't have heavy chariots. That's more of an Assyrian thing. My love of the Assyrians is I've got a friend who's a vicar. He is very concerned about my love of Assyria. No worries, Nick. Thank you for watching them, buddy. I'm glad you've been enjoying them. So I can't listen back to my old videos now, particularly my Imperial Guard one, because the sound quality on it is absolutely appalling. I definitely need to remaster that one. So I've got 1, 2, 3 sets of horses here. How many yokes have I got? 1, 2, 3. Cool. So I've got 3 chariots here. 1, 2, 3 sets of wheels. Yes, there's 3 chariots per bag. So that's quite fun. That's good. I think I'm going to base them on elements of 3. So a unit of infantry is 3 bases. That's going to be a standard unit, which means that a large one can be 4, a small one can be 2, and a tiny one can be 1. So that's quite handy, I think. Excuse me. Right, so that's the crew for that one. Yes, I was talking in my when I was on the Plastic Crack podcast that my other great love is biblicals. So I'm forcing on you guys now. So here we are. Here looks like ooh, yes. Now that's 3 Trojan chariots or Mycenaean chariots. All very nice. That's what we could do with printing, actually, some chariots. This, however, is for the army of Pharaoh. These are Egyptian chariots. I can tell they're Egyptian because of this bowed front that they've got there. Most of the chariots had either an open wickerwork or they would have been square fronted. Certainly things like Sumerian chariots would have been. This bed here is absolutely tiny. It looks like it's made out of a rush matting or something. That's not actually how they would have been. They would have been open at the bottom, which gave you an almost like suspension like effect. But never mind. I mean, that's, you know, this is we're working with metal molds and metal modeling here, aren't we? Now, one thing I will say is it does not look like there's a whole lot of room in these chariots. Now, Egyptian chariots were very small. They were very light. They were designed to be able to be carried by the crew. But no, there's plenty of room in there. So look at that, spacious. So that's cool. Yeah, no, that's cool. So we've got 3 Egyptian chariots as well. It looked like these. I've got these as well. Now these are Assyrian shields. So I've clearly got some Assyrians. Now Assyrians are a little bit later than the Bronze Age. The Assyrians are really the dawn of the Iron Age. But you know what? You guys know DBM or DBA, where you play like, you know, Ordonnance French from the 15th century against the Caesar's Romans or whatever. So there's no reason that we can't do that with these. Rubik, do you know about Malabar and Pazhassi Raja, who once actually fought against to suppress the guerrilla revolt? I do not know anything about them, to be honest. As I say, India is a bit of a dark continent to me. It's a fascinating period. It's a fascinating place, rather. But no, I did not know that. How many bloody wheels are in this? There's only 3 chariots in there. Blimey, Charlie. We might have some spare wheels going on there. Right, so that's Egyptians. Well, that's fun. I didn't know they were in there. What else have we got? Oh, more chariots. What kind of chariots are you? What flavour? You are more Dendra armoured chariots. So you're the 2nd unit of Mycenaean chariots or Trojan chariots. And then it looks like we've got a 3rd unit there. So we've got 9 chariots altogether. 9 Trojan Wars chariots and some Egyptian ones as well. So that's cool. So we've got some more shields here. Very good. 3 lots of shields. That must be for all the infantry packs that we've got. We've got a Trojan 08. Now, yeah, as I say, these guys are a little bit small. I'm just looking around to see if I've got a Perry miniature to hand, which I don't, I'm afraid, which is unusual for me. So, yeah, these guys are a little small. The details are a little indistinct, although this guy's clearly cold. He's got some massive nips on him. Will he stand up? Yeah, he will. That's good. So these are a little small. That would be my only criticism. If you are wanting to look at new line design for your Napoleonics, I certainly wouldn't mix them with Perry's Warlord or Victrix. They would go well with Foundry, as we've just seen, and probably Eagle Miniatures. I would say that they'll go well with, but anything bigger than that, and certainly something like Front Rank, you want to stay absolutely miles away from. No, I'm pretty pleased with them, and this looks like it's another regiment of infantry. Yes, it is. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lots of spearmen, plus the ones I've already done. So I've got 5 units of 24 spearmen there, but I'm not going to be doing units of 24, so I'm obviously going to have to order some command at some point. And then I've got some extra bods here. I might use Foundry command, to be honest. So they're swordsmen. Now, you didn't really use swords very much in these days because the bronze wasn't very good for making swords. However, I want to have as many different troop types as possible. So I want to end up with things like the Myrmidons or the Ethiopians that fought on the Trojan side, or even things like the Penthelesia and her Amazons, who are probably Scythians and things like that. So I really want it to be quite a big project. So yeah. What about the Anglo-Mysore Wars? I'm a little bit more au fait with those. There's an excellent Osprey on the Battle of Assaye, and again, I didn't even know it was a thing until I was a young man who read the Sharpe's Tiger trilogy. But it's an old story. I've not told this story in a long old time. But my brother is a chef, and he used to be a chef at the Oriental Club in London. And in their foyer, they have the Tipu Sultan's chair, not his like big embroidered throne, but the wicker chair that he sat on, because he didn't sit on his throne. He refused to do so until the British were thrown out of India, and look how that turned out for him. So yes, I have actually sat on the Tipu Sultan's chair. What rules am I looking at? Oh, the Battle of Megiddo. Yes, mate, that's what I'm talking about. I'm probably just going to go with Hail Caesar, if I'm honest. I'm not planning on making it too complicated. I did look at Chariot Wars with Warhammer Ancient Battles, but yeah, I think I'm just going to go with Hail Caesar, to be honest. I have actually started writing my own variant of it, which includes heroic combat. So let me quickly go through how that works. It's not an original idea. It's been ripped off. Let me find some dice. Yeah, go. What kind of war gamer am I if I've not got dice to hand? Right, let's have a look. So these are, I'll tell you what, I'll do some green dice and some blue dice. Here we are. Right, I've only got 2 of each colour, so this will have to do. So the idea of it works is in Hail Caesar, you've obviously, similar to Black Powder, you've got your close combat factor. So let's say your spearmen are close combat 6, and you've got Ajax in the unit. Now he's his own sort of unit card will say he's got a close combat factor of 3. So he'll add 3 dice to the combat. So let's say you charge, you hit on 3s, you're not disordered or anything. So you've got that's not bad at all for me. You got 5 hits. You do your saving throws, say 5 up because you're only in light armor. That's 3 wounds. So that's as normal. But the idea is that when you have an opposing hero in your unit, it goes slightly different. So let's say you've got Ajax here. That's your unit. So you roll the unit's dice. They're hitting on 3s because they charged as normal. So that's pretty good. 4 hits. Enemy does their saving throws. They pass 1, so that's 3 casualties. But the way the duel mechanic works is you have your close combat factor of 3, and then secretly you decide how many dice you're going to put into attack and how many you're going to put into defense. So for argument's sake, Ajax, he wants to put 2 in attack and 1 in defense. Let's say he's fighting someone who's not really a close combat beast. Let's say he's fighting Paris. Well, Paris is going to put 2 into defense. He's going to put 1 in each. He's going to put 1 in attack, 1 in defense. So what you do is you roll the dice off. So Ajax rolls his dice. He rolls a 4. Paris rolls his dice. He rolls a 6. So because Paris has scored higher, his hit goes through. You make a saving throw for Ajax. He's failed it. He takes a wound. These here, these get paired off. So this is Ajax attacking now. So his attack dice is a 6. Paris's defense is a 2. He rolls his saving throw. He fails, so he's taken a wound as well. Now this attack from Ajax here was completely unopposed. So he goes straight through. Paris rolls his saving throw. He rolls a 2. So he's taken 2 wounds this combat. So that gets added to what the unit's done. So they've done 5 wounds. That's basically how I envisage it working. There are special rules in there. So Ajax, he gets a bonus dice, but he has to put it in defense because of his tower shield. Someone like Odysseus, his special rule is that he gets to decide how he's going to split his dice up after he's seen the opponents and things like that. So that's where the sort of the flavour comes in. The flavor comes in when you've got the different characters and their special rules. Now these guys here, I was excited about these when I first saw them. Now, we've got some spears, and we'll put some spears in there. I mean, they could be javelins actually. They're quite short, but looking here, yeah, no, those dice were pretty good for me actually. They weren't too bad at all. Corral is pretty much the southernmost state of the borders. That place where Mysore is the first Europeans. Oh, right, okay. Oh, there you go. Right, now this guy here, he's wearing scale armor. Now, this is very unusual for the Mediterranean. This is, again, I think it's probably later. This, you'll be looking at Ramses III's period. So you're talking mid-New Kingdom. Around about, what's the mid-New Kingdom? About 1100 BC, 1000 BC maybe. Now, what I like about these is that these are the sea people. Now, the sea people were, no one really knows where they came from, apart from the sea. But no one really knows like where they were before they were in the sea. A large suggestion is that they are Mediterranean civilizations. That perhaps there was a tsunami or an earthquake or a volcano or something like that, and that drove them into Egypt, and Ramses III murdered them all, because that's how Ramses rolled. But these guys would make really cool alternative infantry. Now, I see the guys, you know, your standard naked dude with spear. I see these as being the Achaeans. Now, the Achaeans are what we call Greeks. These guys these are more sort of exotic. So these I can see fighting for the Trojans, or perhaps something like Myrmidons, who were from what's now sort of Hungary or Romania area. But I think these will make better Trojans. So that's the idea. The idea is to have the two armies looking relatively distinct from each other. On one side, you've got the Dendra armor. On both sides, you've got man in loincloth with spear, and then you've got the specialist troops, sea people types, for the Trojans, or as I say, for the Achaeans, something like the Dendra troops. Ralph Arthur used to make a range of for Egypt versus the Hittites. Thunderbolt Mountain took them over, based out of Cincinnati. Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, I've heard of Ralph Arthur. Didn't they do a range of Norse dwarves as well? Or am I thinking of someone else? A heroic contest in Trojan Wars is utterly perfect. Yeah, thanks. Well, that's sort of what I wanted to go with. It's a rip off of On Guard, which is the Osprey set of rules, and also the War of the Ring. If you ever played that, that's the I often refer to it, the stupidest game ever made. But fun. It's stupid, but it's fun. Good night, Rubik. Thank you for dropping in, buddy. It's nice to see and hear from you again, bud. The Ralph Arthur are true 25mm, kind of small now. Yeah, but you know, if you're just using them against themselves, or perhaps 3D prints, which you can rescale, that's not necessarily the end of the world. So But yes, that's it. So that's a quick run through my my current Trojan War project. As I say, I will be picking. My mini factory has a sale on at the moment, which is very, very painful. Well, it's not too bad, but I've spent far too much already. So once my wages come in at the end of this month, I shall probably be spending more, which is not necessarily good. But Wargames Atlantic will certainly be seeing some of that money. Now, where have you come from? You came out. Did you come out of the sea, people? Let's say you came out of the sea. There we are. I saw someone was just coming quite late. Moltke, hello, Moltke. I did notice you. Apologies for not saying hello sooner. Yes, we're cracking on for another 10 minutes tonight, so we're having a little bit of an extended version because Clive asked for it after my my failure last week, and he's not even here. Oh, I don't know, Clive. Shocking behaviour. But I hope you guys are all enjoying the extra hobby time, the extra hangout time. I know I forgot to put these guys in the box. Gosh darn it! But again, these are archers. Now, archery wasn't a huge thing in the Trojan Wars, unless you were Paris, of course. But these guys will certainly be the Trojan Wars heroes for Wargames Foundry. If you do nothing else today, look at Wargames Foundry's website, look up the Trojan War heroes set, because that is an absolute work of art. I think it's the Perrys. I'm not 100% certain. I think they were the Perrys. They could have been done by someone else, but I'm fairly sure they're the Perrys. They are absolutely stunning. Classical Heroes is the set. They're perhaps a little dated now, perhaps a little sort of all over the place. But back in the day, back in the early 90s, little 10-year-old me looking at the Wargames Illustrator magazine with these guys on the back, absolutely amazing, absolutely stunning. I'm looking at them now. Would highly recommend. It's they're absolutely lovely. The Hector with his like sort of reed crown on's really nice. I don't think they do a Diomedes though, which is a shame because he's one of my favourite ones. Oh no, that's all right. Diomedes is the first one, so he's the one with like the half moon shield. So yeah, Diomedes is badass. I like Diomedes. He's like the General Van Damme of the Trojan Wars. What's that? Was it you're a god? You're a god. Do you want some? That's how I imagine Diomedes rocking up to the battlefield. The hero set is great, but it's completely different to the rest of the range. Oh, okay. In what way is that then, Dan? I'm not calling you out, buddy. They're a lot more sort of individual, I suppose, aren't they? As you would expect from the heroes, I suppose. I'm looking at guys. The Spearmen Advancing. They've got little Olympic diving style budgie smugglers on. But I'm fairly sure there are ones who have gone full balls out. The Kings and Heroes set's really nice as well, actually. And Warrior Heroes. Right, I'm going to have to stop looking now, guys, because this is going to be hideously expensive. That Kings and Heroes set's really nice. Oh, yeah, that is nice. My super glue seems to be working now. That's good. Oh, yeah, no, they are fantastic. You've got... it looks like Priam at the back. Oh no! Ooh, they are nice. Oh, Dan, you see what you do to me? Yeah, I don't know. Tell him off, guys. He's a bad influence on me. He's always making me do new periods and stuff. I don't know. It's totally that way around, honest, guys. Just the aesthetic of it with the guards, especially. Okay, no, fair enough. And yeah. It's as I say, it's an interesting period because it's one that we don't really know that much about. I remember as a kid reading about the Minoans, and the theory was then that they were a peaceful people who didn't know war. Which, even as a kid, I was like, really? In the Bronze Age Mediterranean, there was people who didn't know war? I'm not sure about that. I think you may be the other way around, Dan. Yes. In fact, I'm looking at some Kratos now, that have got your Emperor's Children written all over them. Actually, that reminds me, I need to bring your Margaret of Anjou tomorrow, don't I? So I'm going to have him. He's got his spear in the air like he just don't care. He is going to be a back rank guy. And then I've got these two arms. They're the same. They look the same. They are the same. And then I'll have a leany in man. That's the technical term. And then I will get my nippers. My old uncle, he was from Hampshire, and he used to refer to people as nipper. And that's where that comes from. Right, I'm going to glue this spear on, and then I think we are going to call it a night. This has been my final. Oh no, I've got one more, haven't I? Got one more Wednesday night before I'm back in harness. So we might see how we get on with these across the week. It is bank holiday weekend. I'm going to see if I can get some of these models painted, because as I say, they are mostly come at night. They're mostly contrast paints, so they should come out quite nicely. I've got Dark Oath Flesh, which is the one that I use. Do that over a bone, and that comes out quite nicely. Although I might also be headed out into the countryside at the weekend as well, so we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, I'm just going to hold this arm in place, and then we're going to glue his spear, and then, then we're going to knock it on the head, I think. But yeah, no, definitely check out New Line Designs. They do 20mm. Those of you who like your 20mm stuff, they've got a really big range of 20mm, actually. They do, as I say, naval stuff in 28mm. It is a little small, but you could do... you can mix them in with the foundry fairly simply. I'm just going to quickly click on 20mm. They do a full American Civil War range. They do Ancients. I'm fairly sure they do Napoleonics. Yes, they do. They do. In fact, they do two ranges. They do Napoleon in Egypt and sort of more normal Napoleonics. I'm just going to quick look at their personalities. So on their personalities page, they've got the Emperor himself, the Duke of Boots, Blucher, Ney, Uxbridge, Picton, and the Duke of Brunswick. So who else could you possibly need apart from those guys? Do they do Russians? Yeah, they do Russians. Spanish, Württembergers, Portuguese, you name it, they do it. So yeah, check out New Line Design. Give them some love. If you're a 20mm player in particular, then they should be tickling your taste buds right now, because they are not too expensive. And they do some nice stuff. Ooh, their British Hussars are nice. 9 cavalry for... Where is the price? 9 cavalry for... What doesn't say? Oh, okay, interesting. Add to basket. Let's see. Let's see if it says in the basket. For £9.80. So they are £1.10 per cavalryman if you buy them in a unit. In fact, even less than that. So, yeah, if you're a 20mm player in particular, I know I've got a lot of 20mm fans out there. Check out New Line Designs. Their website is dreadful. Not all of their pictures, not all of their models are photographed. There's absolutely no excuse for that in this day and age. So tell them I sent you. Tell them to sort their website out, and get yourself some nice 20mm. Some nice 20mm minis. Now, this guy, I'm going to pop some glue on his cupping hand. I'm going to get you with my strong hand. There we are. Ah! It wasn't that strong, was it? No, I might actually use this one instead. Because I think there was a little bit of a misprint on that one. If you look at the shoulder here, it might just be a bit of gunk or something, but What's the point in using it when I don't need to? I can use this one instead. So these guys, really happy with them. Nicely animated. I think they're going to make a really nice unit together. As I say, the bronze on Ajax is maybe a little dark. I actually used a brass. I find bronze can be a little doesn't look quite right, weirdly. So I may go back in and highlight him up with bronze. But the rest of them I'll probably stick to the brass. But there we go. That is a unit of 7 dudes all built. I've been a little bit rambly today, a bit all over the place. So thank you very much for putting up with me. I hope you've enjoyed a quick trawl through my Mycenaean collection of bags at the moment. Hopefully they're going to get painted in the not too distant future, but it's certainly not at the expense of my Napoleonics. I have bought some stuff the weekend before last, so I'm going to finish off my French Imperial Guard cavalry with the Empress Dragoons that I bought. I also bought some Gendarmes d'Elite as well, so I've got two more units of Guard cavalry to paint, so I'm quite looking forward to that. But I just want to say thank you very much for putting up with me today. It's been a little bit of a random one. I hope you've enjoyed something a little bit different. It's a topic that I am super passionate about. I love my biblicals nearly as much as I love Napoleonics. So thank you for putting up with me, and I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week, and I shall see you guys. Oh, I'm thinking of doing a live stream on Monday. Can't promise anything, but if I do, it'll be around about lunchtime. I'll probably put a post up about it. But thank you guys very much for what happened to the bank holiday 100 more in a live stream. Well, you never know, Dan. It may still happen. It may be 100 Trojans instead, though. But thank you very much, and I shall see you guys next time. Have a fantastic week, and if you are having a bank holiday weekend, enjoy your bank holiday weekend. Cheers. Bye.